effective immediately, only a Ghanaian who has gone through the lay down due process and has been issued with a license by the Ghana Gold Board can legally engage in gold trading in Ghana. What that simply means is that if you are not licensed by the Ghana Gold Board, you are committing a crime if you buy gold or you engage in any form of gold trading. All the previous licenses that various traders involved in gold trading had from the defunct Precious Minerals Marketing Company, PMMC, and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources have all been revoked by the Ghana Gold Board Act. And we will no longer continue to respect those licenses. So whereas we allowed various stakeholders to buy gold, to trade gold with their previous PMMC licenses or licenses to deal in gold issued by the minister responsible for mines, same is not the case as we speak today. That legal regime has come to an end. And so, even though we know that ignorance of the law is no excuse, we want to, for the last time, use your very esteemed platforms to communicate to all our stakeholders across the country that do the needful. We are not saying that you cannot apply for a gold board license today simply because the deadline has elapsed. That is not the meaning of the deadline. Anybody who wants to trade in gold can apply for a gold board license at any time of their choice. At any time of their choice. And once you apply, we will consider your application in a spirit of fairness and transparency. And we will make sure that once you meet the eligibility criteria, you are given your license. And the framework, Ghana, Maya, Unyame, Weshra Yempa, Unyame Adom, Sika Koko, Ifri, Yananomo Penso, Sika Koko, Abwa, or May Pa, by Yenina, Yabaya Drense, and Faswa, I wasn't called mining your free, Sika Koko, Unyame, the Adom, yeno. And now they are yet to me, Enya Mududona. Isan said, you two Sika Koko, if you form we are. A choir, your fast tono. If we emulating be seen there, a buying shut down for the near chili. And your own share ye send a bear or mind the benyas on faso. Ain't it too a former good yano? Na yama nipa bonifubi to dona no abrofo ebiso Ghana for no ma fakwati kwanso ato good na omo fa kwampa so kra export no mo dia fa Togo border ana mo dia fa Cote d'Ivoire sika na kwa emma eto so wo se yatimi gifiri won wo de your mind yesu enya den emma nti na akwa akoye se sika kokko no amai bi nya so mfa so kra chen na eno na ama omampanyi mahama waye nhehye ya ene Ghana Gold Board adwuma yeku no wate na wama mrahye bedwa force waye mra no de ne sa hye ase na mra no ebo Gold Board achidom mra na ba beboa ama ene ye wo nhehye ya foforo a kire kwan a obi opeso to gold no wasa wo fa so de to license a wasa ne nsaka na watimi ato no mra na ye sa nhehye ni nyina yabo hu dawura se wono a woye good adwuma no bia magi Gold Board license ne bi emrade di kan ba na yan soro preko pa nkoka se wa woni license ne bibia no untimi to gold ya anya ne sa because yenim se Rome was not built in the day and na ufiti preko peso Paul si abujaba nti e wose ye ne kakra ya twen bia from 2nd April the whole of April abetwam May abetwam June abetwam bo so memiensa yenim se we de obi abeka se ya ade ya ma obi abo so memiensa se wo pe Gold Board license I find that wo bra na beje oba we nye license na wo kopa eye manual a obi kwa akwaje bribe license no wa wo fa mobile phone na laptop a obi timi apply bibia wo so kra wo my officer wo beba ha na wo baba beje hard copy enti ye yi enye ma nipa ye no license processes na film se na be ya bribe sem bia mam now we are qualified biano we apply within 60 days now zaka we put the yen and 10 times we need busome over 200 of those licenses 240 yajiatu about emu baako ya aggregator emu miensa ya self financing aggregators emu do watching you 82 tier 2 buyers tier 1 buyers emu 34 tier 2 buyers minimum kasa ni manimu ya yetimi issue licenses bebebe licenses so issue na abo ama GOLDBOD enye sika kakra eno nti nipa bebre nsa aka license no asabo so me nsa bada nipa bebre nsa aka license ne dia na dia yentimi ntonkoso se omo ni GOLDBOD license no omo ne omo license ni nyina nkoso nya adwuma no ene se sa na nka ye be ya na ne hu hia kra se ye mo bi koje license ye pese obi adi mmara so nti no mo adi mmara so ne nya adwuma no so mfa so nti no ene ye bo obi akokọ se license ne de se wo meje ya wa wasem time out pe bia betima beje oba so a na qualify nko a ye de be ma ye nhwe o party a wo free man na fi a wo free man na wo din once you qualify now you Ghana ni nko a de a ye the license ne be ma however best only license as we speak see here ka say we need license there ene ye wuntimi togo da watomra na mra no so kire se woto sa mra na obetimi akọ afiase emfie num ekosi emfie du nti eye offense a ehwo asotwen no eye asotwen kakrakapa na ye mpese ye de sa asotwen we be diga na ni bia enu nti ye be sere se obia ebedi embra no so na se waye wadwen se wo hye tokuru bi mu na wo to gold nti se woni license kra ye hu a ene ye tu hu fu ye because your tax force you can't want some no you ready now you train your mo you've gone through rigorous military training that was a military camp for 2 to 3 weeks and even as we speak we are training them and they are enough to cover Ghana nyina akadio mu hie nyina so ye de ma wo mo na wo matimi aye adwuma yiye ama Ghana nya so mfaso and that tax force no intelligence team akuaku a ye nhwehwemu akuaku a ede wona soto form ejejeje information abade yekoso go good adwuma ni mu bia nti se wo free se wo di bone ewe sumase a you wo dada because enche kra no from ebebo ama akokoto ada ho ama wadapa adadi eno nti ye besrew se famra kwanso because ye so mu a opanyi bia ni wa obetumi afrese ye nyae wa ye bejai emra no ne obedi no nyonyo because o mampanyi ankasa na ebo ye chidom se ye mamra no enye adwuma enti enkoye se emra ne bedi kwaku na eba kwabena de a emra ne ni no panyi si aba ye de botechi no eno an ye de boba enti ya fremu na ne pese mo fa mo fidi kese so na mo de ma Ghana fo nyina ete sa kokoboi say GOLDBOD mrafofo na parliament ye no ya twen nya abotra se di abotre na yeye ya fiti ase aye de ye adwuma na ye nya mfiti ase kora implement mra no fully no Ghana nya GOLDBOD no so mfaso bebre gold anka ne na efa aban nsa ase na ni nyina nipa bonefo bi de kọ amama ya hodo so ne nya so mfaso no ene joma ama da romanti GOLDBOD da romanti gold ni nyina no yetimi tomu dodo na a o man ni nya so mfaso e free January ABC and na ye ka say from PMMC days to GOLDBOD days gold nko a free small scale sector e dia kwa ma no ne akoton ama o man Ghana e bro 50 tons of gold 1 ton of gold we are more than $100 million so you got 50 tons of gold we are talking about over $5 billion of forex are generating over program any IMF emfie miensa IMF for so member isika 3 billion and okra no mbu no touch 6 months bia na akoje kakra 6 months bia na akoje kakra ye just wa e was ye good boys na ye komo mo market hu se ya ade ansa no mo di bia kayo we di etia ye yankasa ya fa ye natural resources na hye nsemu a ye nya so mfaso a and the Bank of Ghana forex omu hia bia no munya enti eyade a ebo a wo man na je se wo a wo mpe Ghana yie na bekasa de we enya ade pa ko dollar ba for me obia enya so mfaso amafa ngobo aba fom ama nye me wo dwemu a ye de dollar ne kra ba bia no ebo no aba form kakra ana ejina baby ejina airline fo nyina kra tete omonyema so because dollar e dey aba form ni nyina ye adwumaso a GOLDBOD ne other state agencies AD na ehwe se Bank of Ghana benya dollars dodo no bi a wo pe bi akofa ne nyema bia no aye dey wenya na seed no etimi ejina brane enti momoaye na wo boa yen a wo boa wankasa oho because ye no ye de ama ye nyina na se wo hu se obi to gold kwan bone so woni license wo hu se obi to gold na gold no mfa kwan paso no de kwa ma no ne they are smuggling the gold no wa boy amane on the 8th of July GOLDBOD tax force no mampanyi be pa wontoma ye de to free lines be to dwa ye the whistle blowing policy be to dwa de chire nyina ne se enye se wodi nkonkonsa but se okohu se obi say o man no e wo gold adwuma mu to gold kwan bone so woni license on famra kwan so emfa gold ni kwa ma no ne na o man ni hwiri sika na boy amane a ye be bo ho ban na ye be san so ayiwaye ye be san so wada wase sika fam a ye sika mu eduru ye pa wo so be hu se information a wo de man no wanya so mfa so enti saa nyema ni nyina no ye de betudwa on the 8th of July ye fasa akonya so e de ya invite semtrofo nyina se mo betimi abadwumade ni bi eno mampanyi behwe mwanim na Ghana for so e de o maso afem ye saa da no na enhyehyɛ ye ka GOLDBOD tax force no woni kwan ya ye fa so ene saa gold smugglers ni illegal gold traders ya ba be di no nyonyo no ye de ni nyina ato mwanim na minim se moboa ye ni nyina ye kan ye hobomu a ye be di saa how you soon kunim ama oman Ghana afane to my preference ye da mu nyina amase. You've asked a very important question, and it is something that we've thought of, and so we have to we've put a lot of measures in place to serve as checks and balances, and to ensure that the members of the task force we are going to deploy with so much powers will not end up betraying the state, abusing their powers, engaging in extortion, bribery, and the rest, and encouraging the very vice they are supposed to fight. Because like you said, we've seen it in other areas, particularly in the fight against illegal mining. So what have we done? We are deploying technology to ensure that we check the members of the task force. Now, the GOLDBOD Act prescribes that GOLDBOD inspectors and any task force that we put in place, they cannot go to anybody's office, to audit them or to check what they are doing, okay, without a written warrant signed by the chief executive officer. So you can't be on a frolic on your own, gallivanting around Ghana and harassing miners and gold buyers and all that because you are a member of the GOLDBOD task force. You need a written warrant. And if a member of the GOLDBOD task force or a GOLDBOD inspector comes to you without a written warrant signed by the chief executive officer, you must report him to be sanctioned. Again, the officers that we are deploying at all material times when they are embarking on field operations must wear their bulletproof vest, which will have fixed on them body cams. And so on the day of their inauguration, I'm sure you're going to see them in their uniforms, you're going to see them in their bulletproof vests with their ballistic plates in their ballistic helmets, and they have body cams. So what the body cams allow us to do, not only body cams on them, their vehicles, which we are procuring, also has trackers, GPS trackers. And we have a command center. We'll have a command center at our head office to monitor their operations, meaning that everywhere the GOLDBOD task force will be at any material time, we will know sitting here in Accra, because the vehicles are tracked and you cannot remove the tracker without us knowing. And when you are going to embark on an exercise, you must wear the body cam for us to watch real-time video of the exercise. We will also deploy drones at the various places that they are raiding or they are conducting their field operations. So you cannot seize a certain amount of gold and come in under declare. You cannot seize a certain amount of cash and come in under declare. And as part of the task force are also members of the Gold Inspectorate who are not task force members. So somebody said, who watches a watchman? There are checks and balances, some technology based, some administrative, to make sure that, I mean, you cannot totally eliminate such tendencies, but we must make sure that we are able to control it to its bearer's uniform, bearer's level. So that is what we seek to do. By the time we inaugurate the task force too, would have been through with our whistle blowing policy on illegal gold trading, gold smuggling, and other gold-related offenses. We are developing the policy. Our toll-free lines are ready, and I'm sure on the 8th, the president himself will put out the toll-free lines. And so any Ghanaian citizen who suspects or sees or come into contact with information that shows that a person is engaging in illegal gold trading or gold smuggling has a duty to report that to the Gold Board. And we are making that easy by providing the toll-free lines. Even if you think that the people involved are our own officers, you can do so. And the policy will ensure that your anonymity is protected and guaranteed. And there will be motivational incentives in place for anybody who accurately reports the activities of illegal gold traders and smugglers, and which are reports lead to arrest and seizures. Once we arrest and seize, the law says within 7 days we should go to the Gold Board Tribunal and validate the seizure. And once the seizure has been validated, we can do the needful by confiscating. And once we confiscate, a certain percentage of the value of that gold will be given to that whistleblower. If it's a media person, then that money may be enough for you to quit your media career, because you know that gold is a very high value commodity. So a very significant percentage of the value will go to whistleblowers and the task force that are able to execute such operations and arrest the perpetrators of those crimes. So we are combining technology, checks and balances, whistleblowing and incentive packages and other administrative measures to ensure that we are able to defeat the canker of gold smuggling, illegal gold trading, and price disruptions in the market, which are inimical to the national interest. Okay. Are there any more questions?
Yeah, you mentioned that the license will be issued to just Ghanaians, which makes a space meant for Ghanaians. There are no foreigners involved. But in this country, we have a situation where foreigners engage in an activity but make local people front it while the operation is being conducted by the foreigners themselves. So I want to find out from you, what is your outfit going to do to ensure that the foreigners don't get involved in it at all?
Well, it's all about how strong our intelligence gathering system will be. And I'm telling you that it's going to be very strong. We are going to be very strong on the ground, on the quiet, gathering information about these activities. Because even as we speak now, we know a lot of Ghanaians who are fronting for Indians and foreigners. A lot of them, they are in Takwa, they are in Anyinem, they are in Kumasi, they are in Obuasi. We know them. Foreigners, most of them have gone into hiding. Just a few ones are still in the system, and we are on a headhunt for them. But even those who have gone into hiding and have gotten some unpatriotic Ghanaians to front for them will be exposed. It's just a matter of time, because the intelligence gathering system we are deploying is very strong, and we are going to see that. And the law provides for very stiffer punishment for Ghanaians who engage in fronting. So if you look at Section 63 of the Gold Board Act, it provides that a person shall not front or connive with a foreigner or a company to acquire a license under this act or regulations made under this act. So once you are conniving to do that, or you're trying to front for a foreigner, you're committing an offense. And we want to admonish all Ghanaians to stay away from this menace. Okay, we're good? All right. Inti abusianfo.
What I say, this is gungulum 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 gung. This is Ghana News TV. The time is 6 o'clock. Let me follow Ghana.
So send this cafe amanoni aba Africa ha. You selem fi. Say ye fear wo pese wo ntono. You selem fi. Edan ya na say japade a wani da so a wo pese wo to Africa ha no. You selem fi. So wo send this sika ama odofo e de aboa no wo Africa ha. You selem fi. Sanso e na say uti obi school fees ama no a. You selem fi. Yenti a make kanfo lem fi ama one say utimi send this sika e fa lem fi so a e ma ne begu bank account mu. Sanso e na timi begu mobile money account mu. Enu achi nso no de bia lemfi e wo daily rate a e ma hu sika dodo a wo sende a wo benya lemfi e secured na wo send this car enche na nipa a wo sende ama no ne nsa aka lemfi wo USA, Canada, UK, Italy, Germany, Ireland, Netherlands, Spain, Belgium, Portugal and France. What the lemfi send this car untu ahwe bomodi a dey use me code NEWS news na say ene any day di kan a register or lemfi so a unya bonus sanso and how you switch so a ye wo bonuses ahodo a ye de ma.
As we all know, Ghana is endowed with huge gold resources as a country. As we speak, Ghana is a lead exporter of gold. And this important mineral resource we've been endowed with by God has to be harnessed properly for the benefit of the Ghanaian people. This is the main vision of the NDC Mahama government, which has led to the establishment of the Ghana Gold Board, an institution tasked with a mandate to streamline and structure gold trading in Ghana and to ensure that we are able to optimize national benefits from the entire value chain of our gold resources. The Ghana Gold Board Act of 2025, Act 1140, was passed on the 29th of March of this year by the August House of Parliament and assented to by His Excellency the President on the 2nd of April. Since then, that law has been enforced. But as a new organization with a new mandate, we saw it necessary, we deemed it necessary to adopt a gradualist approach to the implementation of our mandate and to ensure that we provide ample time for all stakeholders to comply with the new statutory regime that governs gold trading in Ghana. And so we've invited you here in previous time for other press conferences at which we gave deadlines and later extended the deadlines for persons engaged in gold trading to apply for a gold board license. We gave a final non-extendable deadline of 21st of June. 21st of June has come and gone, and we don't intend to extend that license. That deadline. And so the main purpose of this press conference is to inform you, our friends in the media, by extension the good people of Ghana, that the new gold board licensing regime has taken full effect, and that effective immediately, only a Ghanaian who has gone through the laydown due process and has been issued with a license by the Ghana Gold Board can legally engage in gold trading in Ghana. What that simply means is that if you are not licensed by the Ghana Gold Board, you are committing a crime if you buy gold or you engage in any form of gold trading. All the previous licenses that various traders involved in gold trading had from the defunct Precious Minerals Marketing Company PMMC and the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources have all been revoked by the Ghana Gold Board Act, and we will no longer continue to respect those licenses. So whereas we allowed various stakeholders to buy gold, to trade gold with their previous PMMC licenses or licenses to deal in gold issued by the minister responsible for mines, same is not the case as we speak today. That legal regime has come to an end. And so, even though we know that ignorance of the law is no excuse, we want to, for the last time, use your very esteemed platforms to communicate to all our stakeholders across the country that do the needful. We are not saying that you cannot apply for a gold board license today simply because the deadline has elapsed. That is not the meaning of the deadline. Anybody who wants to trade in gold can apply for a gold board license at any time of their choice. At any time of their choice. And once you apply, we will consider your application in a spirit of fairness and transparency. And we will make sure that once you meet the eligibility criteria, you are given your license. But what the deadline means is that if you do not have a gold board license, as we speak today, you cannot legally buy or trade in gold in Ghana. So all you have to do is to wait, apply for the license, be issued with a license before you engage in gold trading. If you flout this important legal provision, you will be committing a very serious offense. And I want to address our minds to Section 63 of Act 1140, the Ghana Gold Board Act 2025, which says that a person shall not buy gold from a person in the country unless that person has been issued with a license by the Gold Board. And when you are issued with a license, it comes with terms and conditions. The terms and conditions can be gleaned from our website. Every category of license comes with its own unique terms and conditions. Every license also comes with its own requirements. And we have put in place appropriate measures to ensure continuous compliance with these important regulations at all times by our licensees to ensure not only responsible trading, but to ensure that the state is able to benefit from the trading of our gold and other precious minerals. And so Section 63, subsection 2 provides that a person who contravenes a provision of subsection 1, and subsection 1F is what says that you can't buy gold without a license. It says a person who contravenes a provision of subsection 1 commits an offense and is liable on summary conviction to a fine of not less than 50,000 penalty units and not more than 200,000 penalty units, or to a term of imprisonment of not less than 5 years and not more than 10 years, or to both. So you can see from the imprisonment term that this is a very serious offense, and it's our expectation that all stakeholders will play by the rules so that we will not have to crack the whip or anybody. But for those who are hell-bent on trading illegally without a license, we are serving notice that we are coming after you. On the 8th of July, His Excellency the President, on whose vision the Gold Board has been established, will commission a very important unit of the Ghana Gold Board. This will be a public event and the media is cordially invited. This event is going to be the inauguration of the Gold Board Task Force. So 8th July at 8:30 a.m. at the National Security Secretariat, popularly called Blue Gate. There is a yard in there somewhere where this event will be taking place, and the media is cordially invited. Further details about this program will be put out there. It's a very important program because on that day, the president will adore this new security task force who have the same powers as police officers and who have been given a special and specific mandate to help the state combat and defeat the phenomenon of gold smuggling, the canker of gold smuggling, the canker of illegal gold trading, and price disruptions that deprive the state of the needed revenue, the needed profits, the needed forex for our economy and the development of our country as a whole. And this task force will be driven by the intelligence units that we have already deployed across the country, gathering information on the activities of all smugglers and illegal gold traders. We know you. You are not in hiding at all because your cover is blown. We know who you are. So you better do the needful and stop the illegal gold trading you're engaging in and the gold smuggling, and come for a license and do your business as a responsible citizen and contribute to the development of Ghana. Aside the intelligence unit will be the investigative unit under this task force, as well as the Gold Board Tribunal provided for by the Gold Board Act, which will be established before the 8th of July. And all measures are being put in place to ensure that our enforcement mandate is executed to the full, to ensure that the states and the people of Ghana derive maximum benefits from our gold resources. Many people, many entities have applied for Gold Board licenses as we speak. By the 21st June deadline, we had received over 300 applications for the buyer license tier 1. We had received close to 200 applications for the license buyer, the buyer license tier 2, and about 30 applications for the self-financing aggregation license. For the aggregator license, we had received about 15 of them. As we speak, management, with approval of the board, has approved over 240 licenses. But once the applications are approved for conforming with the requirements of the licenses, we need to now do it digitally by sending you an email that your license has been approved. You also get that in your account, because the Gold Board license application platform ensures that every applicant creates an account before they apply for a license. So you get the notification that we have applied, we have approved your license in the system. You are asked to pay the license fee, which you pay digitally through Ghana.gov. And when we receive confirmation of payment, we process your license, we print it, it goes through audit verification, and we then sign the license. And so 240 applications cutting across all the 4 categories have been approved, but as we speak, just about 123 have been actually printed and issued. And I can report to you that 1 aggregator license has been approved and issued, 3 self-financing aggregator licenses have been approved and issued, 32 license buyers, tier 2 license buyers have been approved, and 87 tier 1 license buyers. So a lot of people are complying with the law, and we commend them. For those who have been notified that the applications have been approved but are yet to pay the money, please take urgent steps to pay the money. And if you've paid your money and you're not hearing from us, do contact our licensing team so that if there is any hiccup somewhere, they can quickly rectify that for you to get the necessary notification for us to proceed with the process. For those of you who have also paid and your licenses have been duly printed and signed, you need to immediately make your way to our headquarters here to pick the hard copy of the license. And when you come there, you need to come with your Ghana card, and there are some basic information that we need you to provide us before we give you the licenses. The licenses are valid for 12 months, and so when you see us launch or inaugurate the task force, don't say that, hey, who are these people? Yes, they will be in uniforms, not the regular uniforms that the military or police officers wear, but the civilian operatives who are national security operatives will be in their own uniforms. And on the 8th of July, the president himself will showcase that. But as part of the task force are also members of the military and members of the Ghana Police Service, who will be deploying on a permanent and sustainable basis to all mining areas and gold trading areas to ensure that anybody trading in gold is compliant with the law. And if you are found culpable, you will not be spared. Nobody can call to make any intervention for us to leave you off the hook. We will make sure that we take you through the full rigors of the law. So by way of summary, this is the short announcement that we have for our stakeholders. If you don't yet have a gold board license, make sure you have it. And don't say that I have applied for the license, I don't have the license, so because I have applied, I will continue to trade. You must wait and get a license before you trade, because getting the license helps us to trace the entire value chain. We know who is buying what quantity, and therefore if gold is being smuggled, we will know. And when you're buying the gold, the terms and conditions of the license mandates you to issue mandatorily the approved and official gold board receipts, which helps us to reconcile, what is going on in the gold trading space across the country and make sure that we are getting value for money as a country. The gold board has so far been a great blessing to Ghana, and there is no gain saying that. Within the short period that we have operated, first as PMMC and now as Gold Board, we've exported close to 50 tons of gold as we speak. And that is gold from just the small scale sector. And for the first time in Ghana's history, gold export from the small scale sector has exceeded gold exports from the large scale sector, showing clearly that the small scale sector is a very important and critical sector that, as the president said, if properly harnessed, can really help the development and the transformation we all seek for our beloved country. And that is why he has established the Ghana Gold Board. And so we will not let the people of Ghana down. When you hear that we have exported over 50 tons of gold, because this month alone we are doing almost 9 tons of gold, then you know that this month alone we've brought in nothing less than $900 million in forex for the Bank of Ghana. And so if the Bank of Ghana has enough forex liquidity for the market and for government obligations, and the CD is strong and stable, it is because of some of these things that the Gold Board is doing. And we hope to sustain this. You know that in the whole of 2024, gold exports for the whole year stood at 66 tons, with an export value of $4.6 billion. We've done only 6 months, and yet we've crossed the $4.6 billion we got for the whole of 2024. We've crossed it. We've gone beyond $5 billion. And in terms of the volumes too, we are almost getting to 66 tons. We've done 50 tons and over. And we are optimistic that by the end of the next month, we would have hit the 60 tons. And we are doing all this so that we cut out the activities of enemies of the state, the criminals who have decided to engage in gold smuggling and deprive of our nation of the needed revenue for development and forex for currency stability. And with the establishment of the Gold Board and the inauguration of the task force that has been set up by the Gold Board under the direction of President Mahama and the Minister of Finance, we hope to intensify the fight against smuggling, because the approach so far has been ad hoc. We have been relying on men from the national security apparatus on an ad hoc basis. So you realize that any time we deploy national security to the market, there is discipline. By any time we recall them, then you see people engaging in all form of vices in the market. This time around, we are not going to recall them because we have a permanent standby force protecting the national interest, ensuring that everybody trading in gold has a license. And to have a license means we have your data, we've done the necessary due diligence on you, we know the source of the money you're using to trade in gold, and we know it is clean money and not fraught with any money laundering or terrorism financing funds. And we also know that you are a Ghanaian, because foreigners are not allowed to engage in gold trading anymore. I think that has become a broken record. Everybody knows that. Most of the foreigners have complied with the law and have left. Others are still hiding in their rooms in Kumasi and Obuasi and other places, and we have picked intelligence on them. And in the coming weeks, you see us raiding most of their hideouts and arresting them and seizing their gold and so on. And this time around, we are not going to deport any foreigner. We are going to make sure that we prosecute the matters to the very end, because if Ghanaians will be prosecuted, then the situation cannot be different for foreigners who brazenly oppose the law. So we want to call on the media to help us to sensitize the public, particularly those who desire to engage in gold trading or who wants to buy gold, to follow due process. If you want to know that an entity is licensed by the Gold Board to deal in gold, please go to our website, goldboard.gov.gh. Effective tomorrow, not today, effective tomorrow. You can check the repository tab. When you click on the repository tab, you will see the list of all licenses we have issued. You will know who is an aggregator, who is a tier 2 buyer, who is a tier 1 buyer, and that list will be updated regularly so that you are not defrauded or you are not misled, because that will not be an excuse for violating the law. So the long and short of this press conference is that the transition is complete. The new legal regime governed by the Ghana Gold Board Act of 2025, Act 1140, has fully taken place, and hence anybody who desires to buy gold or engage in gold trading must get a Gold Board license. Your PMMC licenses will no longer be recognized. Your licenses from the Ministry of Lands and Natural Resources will no longer be recognized, because we've given you ample time to follow due process and apply for a new license, be issued with that license, and do your work legally in conformity with the new regime. On that note, I want to thank you once again for coming, and say that we are counting on you to spread the message, to spread the word, to educate Ghanaians, because what we are doing is very important. Those engaged in smuggling, I repeat, are enemies of the state. Those engaged in illegal gold trading are enemies of the state, because when they do that, they deprive all of us of the needed forex that we need so badly to stabilize the national currency and the revenue we need to develop our communities. And we cannot allow for that to happen, because if Gold Board gets the gold and exports the gold and brings the forex to the Bank of Ghana, the economy becomes stronger, the city becomes stronger, and all of us benefit, because it translates into stable prices. It translates into better livelihoods and living conditions for all of us. And that is why we must see this Gold Board initiative as not a partisan political agenda, but as a national agenda that we must all support. Thank you very much.
Follow and watch Ghana News TV.
So send this cafe amanoni aba Africa ha Usulemfi. Say ye fear wo pese wo ntono Usulemfi. Edan ya na say japade a wani da so a wo pese oto wa Africa ha no Usulemfi. Say wo send this sika ama odofo e de aboa no wo Africa ha Usulemfi. Sanso e na say wo tie obi school fees ama no a Usulemfi. Nyenti American full Lemfi ama on say utimi send this sika e fa Lemfi so a e ma ne begu bank account mu. Sanso e na timi begu mobile money account mu. Eno achi nso no de bia Lemfi e wo daily rate a e ma hu sika dodo a wo send a wo benya. Lemfi e secured na wo send this sika enche na nipa a wo send ama no ne nsa aka. Lemfi wo USA, Canada, UK, Italy, Germany, Ireland, Netherlands, Spain, Belgium, Portugal, and France. What the Lemfi send this sika untu ahwe. Bomodian dey use me code NEWS news. Na say any day they can register or Lemfi so a unya bonus. Sanso and use chance so a ye wo bonuses ahodo a ye de ma.
Menu makwekwes asempa kania. Semenam na meti asempa na mo amane a na ma no keka me. Anyam bia what ANS Trading Agency Limited nka. Se wo ka say door to door for no de na e watwa. E sense obi ene wa wo say wo ho sa door to door business nim. Wo nyoma wo UK a wo de ko Ghana. Ana say Germany a wo de ko Ghana. 3 to 5 weeks e be kwa kodu nipa ne punu anu say try. Na de mo demonstration wo say adwuma de we mu ne say wo ho bo no. E da form say boko. ANS Trading Agency Limited. E wo air freight special service. And on nyoma ne ye de be fa plane. Entintempa na akwa kodu. Obetima fa sa pa we also the nyoma free Ghana akwa UK and Germany. FGG them which na also at na ye. I mean drop bomb. ANS Trading Agency Limited pe and a 40 footer any 20 footer container. Ye for UK ediko Ghana and Germany ediko Ghana. Oma manuoma ye mere import to export to them there for you. Omo Ghana na money 0249 170 423. UK has over free 0790 802 7527. Germany 09173 771
2733. Ubenya A&S Trading Agency Limited. Our West Croydon. A&S Trading Agency Limited. Quantum Brancham. Wana Beboya Basso. Maybe next time in your fill up from the Bebro.